Hi, my name is Kal Power. I am a cosplayer and I'm also working on refurbishing a Tardis. You're listening to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. Keep collecting.
Larry, it's Fraser. And you use, they all say, who is Doctor Who? Where is he from?
What does he do? They wonder who is Doctor Who? So I ask you, who's Doctor Who?
Welcome back to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast, the podcast that explores that colorful world of Doctor Who, including Doctor Who collecting, Doctor Who merchandise, cosplaying, and much, much more. Brought to you in part by Forbidden Planet and Bags Unlimited Incorporated. Thank you for listening. I am Larry Van Mersbergen, your host. I have been collecting Doctor Who since 1981, and if you did the math, that's 45 years. That's a lot of experience. The ups, the downs, the auction wins, the auction losses, the surprise boxes, the boxes that were empty, or the boxes that came with the wrong thing in them. That's all 45 years of that. Welcome to our 99th episode. Yes, we're on the cusp of our 100th episode on this show, and we're excited to get this far. So there we go. Celebrating the world of Doctor Who and much more. All right, so a little about me. If you know this part, you can skip through it, but I did open one of the first Doctor Who stores in Chicago that exclusively served the Doctor Who fans. In other words, we didn't have a brick and mortar shop. We took that store to every fan club in the Chicago area, and one of our stops produced so much fruit that it impacted the future of Doctor Who in our area. Bundles from Britain was the name of the show, and when we landed at the Many Companions of Doctor Who, I met a very nice man who helped me load my car and bought several things from me. His name was Gene Smith, and we had a great conversation. In fact, we formed a partnership, and we started the company together. Now, of course, Gene Smith is the CEO of Alien Entertainment and runs Chicago Tardis. So I honestly think there is a connection there. There might be. Anyway, we're in a great book. We're mentioned in a book called Red, White, and Who, The Story of Doctor Who in America. And unfortunately, that book is no longer available. So I need you to go to ATB Publishing and write to Mr. Bloomberg and say, either reprint this book or sell it back to the authors so we can have this book out there. Please do that. The more messages he gets, the more likely he's either going to go say, yeah, we'll make more, or we'll give it back to the authors, and then Zeppo Publishing can have it. That would be great. We are also part of the Direction Point Doctor Who Podcast Network. You can find a lot of great Doctor Who podcasts. So if you are a podcaster, you can join us and join the ranks of these high-ranking, high-streaming podcasts, including Time Streams, Police Box in a Junkyard, the Doctor Who Target Book Club podcast, Traveling the Vortex, Time Ram, Doctor Who Literature, and many more. For more information on that, go to directionpoint.org. And speaking of links, if you do not have these links by now, you should get them. And if you're new to the podcast, welcome to my show. These are two links you need as a collector. You need, first of all, timelash.com. And when you get there, select the TARDIS library, sign up for a free account, and start searching your collection in that area. You will get mostly media items. That means videos, recordings, books, and you can keep track of that. Also create want lists. He posts links to Amazon in 3 different countries and eBay. And it's free. Just a little advertising at the bottom of the screen to pay for those sites. So thank you. And if you need to find something more, if you're curious about an item, does it exist? Is it real? We had something like that happen on one of the social media. Somebody had these cards and they had the Doctor Who logo on it, but no copyright. So, of course, I called in David J. Howe, and he said, I've never seen them, so they're probably fan-made. And he's seen everything. So he is the author of a book called The Transcendental Toy Box, and now it's been a website for a while at drwhotoybox.co.uk. I am a contributor to that website, so I have updated and made listings on there based on things that were not there before, or expanded on listings that were there, including U.S. prices. A lot of times the values were placed in pound sterling. I want to make sure it's updated for U.S. collectors. Great resource for that. So there you go. If you're looking for great Doctor Who items at great prices, look no further than DoctorWhoStore.com. That's Alien Entertainment. If you live in the Chicago area by chance, you can select free pickup from the store to save you money on those shipping costs. So for locations and hours, you can go to alienentertainment.com. They have a location in Lombard and in Logan Square. A lot of great items you can find right here at my website at Forbidden Planet. We sell Forbidden Planet through our website. You basically click through our site. It takes you to Forbidden Planet. You complete your transaction with them, and they pay us a small affiliate commission for that. And that money goes to pay for this show. It pays the podcast fees. We just got charged for our website to renew for a year. So thank you for that. And that keeps the cost of this show completely out of my pocket. You can also find stuff on our eBay store. We are getting ready to update that again. We just sold a German Doctor Who book to an Australian customer. It was one of the extras that I got from my German haul. And it was great. It was wonderful to do that. I've got over 400 Target books for sale. I'll be putting those up as fast as I can. Most of these are collecting copies. I do have some reading copies currently on eBay. So there you go. All right. What is next? When the script doesn't move, that's live podcasting. Many, like I said, I also don't want you to forget my good friends at Who North America. They are having a rough year. A lot of maintenance at the store. In other words, a sewer line had collapsed, and they had to pay for that. So unfortunately, that did cut into their operations costs. So if you can help them out by sending a little money their way, go to whona.com. Or travel down to the location in Canby and just buy something. That's what they want. They don't want to GoFundMe. They don't want a fundraiser. They want you to just buy the shop. Also, if you have Doctor Who items you're willing to donate to Who North America, and I'm actually trying to get a bunch of stuff together to donate to them to sell. Like I said, all these Target books are closing in on me. And if you listen to Tony Witt's podcast, he mentions that every show. You have so many Target books that they're crawling in on you, and you need a space shuttle to store them all. And that's pretty much true. So anyway, do take a look at them. Also, let's not forget our friend Alex at the Who Shop of London. Wonderful people. And you can find them at thewhoshop.com. On our website at DoctorWhoCollectors.com, of course, in addition to all the podcasts, all 99 podcasts, you have our complete guide to Doctor Who classic hardcover books. Those are the books that were published from 1964 to 1988 from the publishers of Muller, White Lion, Aeonian, Amarian, and W.H. Allen Wingate, basically Tandem Publishing. And we list them in publication order as best we can find. We are still tweaking that to make sure it's correct, including getting publication dates and current sold values, average values. We don't just depend on eBay for that because it's not always accurate. We do use other book sites as well, such as Thrift Books, Abe's Books, Books A Million, Book Off in New York, and we try to find all those sold prices and put them together, including private sales when sales are reported to me. All right, great. So what's going on with me? My next appearance will be at the Consinity Gathering of the Geeks convention at the Milwaukee School of Engineering on Saturday, April 11th. You can get information on that and tickets at consinitycon.weebly.com. There is a link on my website. If it gets approved, which it should, I will be presenting the evolution of the Daleks in books with artifacts from 64 to the present day. I'll also be probably signing copies of Fantastic which Zeppo Publishing will be there. And it's possible I'll be on another discussion panel. I don't know that yet. But I'll also have my dealer table there in case you're in Milwaukee and you want to get some Doctor Who stuff and support the podcast. Come on by. Also, recently, I returned to the Legend of the Traveling Tardis podcast. You can find them on YouTube. This time I was on the panelist side as we talked with my good friend Keith Bradbury of Who North America. And that's going to be a really important thing. Doctoberfest is coming too. That's, leads into that. Set for Saturday, October 17th at Who North America. I am the headline guest once again. What am I doing this year? My panel for this year is going to be the history of Doctor Who in comics from 1964 to the present day. That includes Century 21 Dalek comics, TV Comic Weekly, Doctor Who Weekly and Monthly, to the actual Marvel premieres, to the 66 Dalek movie comic, and all the comics that basically where they appeared as best I can. I don't have all of them per se, but I will have a good sampling. And some of those are drawn by good friends of mine, like Christopher Jones. Some wonderful stuff, and including the collection of Dave Gibbons and things like that. So that's so check that out. That'll also be my show at Chicago Tardis, which is later. I'm going to hold off on that because they haven't announced any guests yet. All right. So there you go. So, and again, I go back to my website for a moment. I should really move this section back a bit in the script, but it's been there so long, everybody accepts it. There are a lot of rumors floating out there within the Doctor Who book collecting community about hardcover books. Again, those classic hardcovers by Wingate or W.H. Allen. And I'm always on the lookout for maybe second or third printings that we don't publish. If you have evidence of a book that has that imprinted in the book, we would like to have concrete proof. If you have a book, send us photos. We want to cover the cover, the spine, and the inside copyright page. Please don't tell me that the inside page is missing and tell me it's a reprint. I mean, that's just not going to fly. I need absolute proof. Especially if we're going to upset or rock the collecting community, especially those guys out there that say they have a full run of hardcovers. I do not have a full run of hardcovers at this point. I'm still missing 2 titles. So if you can help me out, I'm looking for second printings of The Dinosaur Invasion and The Three Doctors. Both of those books were sold in the United States in 1981 in the New York area. If someone happens to come by those and can be reasonable about the prices, I mean, please don't gouge me. I just don't appreciate it. Anyway, if you do find one and you want to help me out, give me a contact, Doctor Who Collectors Podcast at gmail.com. Also, if you'd like to talk on my show, if you're a collector or cosplayer or you want to share your story, I love talking to you guys. Just contact me at Doctor Who Collectors Podcast, gmail.com. Put show guest in the subject line so I don't pass it by, and I will certainly get back to you. Sometimes it's not possible to schedule everybody on the show. I try to make sure that my guests feel comfortable on the show, and as well as there's no surrounding controversies. So we try to, and I know that's a shame, but we just want to make sure we don't get ambushed on the air. That's okay. Anyway. I do want to thank our patrons. If you're finding us on Patreon, thank you so much. We are going to start posting our interview videos on YouTube directly, and see if we can't generate revenue from that, because the Patreon avenue has not been as lucrative as I was hoping it would be. But if you want to prove me wrong, and just go to our Patreon page, patreon.com/Doctor Who Collectors Podcast, we would love to have you. Also, if you'd like to support us at a smaller amount, you can go to drwhocollectors.podbean.com and you can support us there. You can also go to our website at drwhocollectors.com and click the donate button. We take PayPal donations. If you want to support, and we'll read your name on the air. If you want to be a sponsor of the website or a sponsor of the hosting or the podcast hosting, we're more than happy to talk about it. All right. Our theme song is Who's Doctor Who, composed by Barry Mason and Les Reed, performed by Fraser Hines, and with Fraser Hines' blessing. We use that every episode. If you want to share this podcast with your friends, and I hope you do, or gather around one phone and listen at the same time, that's fine too. But we are on all platforms, including Apple, Pandora, iHeartRadio, Podbean, and many, many more, Spotify included. You can get this anywhere you get them, pretty much. We're a Direction Point Network podcast. After the break, we'll have My Time, our main story today, we are talking with Kal Power, who is a TikToker as well as an influencer. She's a 13th Doctor cosplayer, and boy, when you see her, you'll understand why that fits. She also got a free Tardis that she drove 2 hours to get and has it in a barn in her town in Kansas. So, and we'll find out how this connects to the new console room at Who North America, because it's a really cool story. So there you go. So we'll do that. And of course, we always end our show with the most outrageous offer. Come on, guys. If people stopped putting out these items at ridiculous prices, I could close down that segment and just say, everybody's happy. Probably not going to happen, right? If you're one of those sellers going, I'm never lowering my prices, ha 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 ha. I'm sure they don't laugh like that, but you never know. Anyhow, we will get back to that after this quick break from our Direction Point podcast. So until then, stay tuned.
Traveling the Vortex. Are you ready to embark on an epic journey through time and space? Join the thousands of Whovians around the world who've discovered Traveling the Vortex, the ultimate Doctor Who podcast for die-hard fans and curious newcomers alike.
Every week, we dive deep into the Whoniverse, discussing the episodes, theories, and hidden gems. We dissect the Doctor's adventures, share behind-the-scenes stories, and explore the legacy of this iconic show.
Traveling the Vortex brings fans together, fostering a global community of Whovians. Whether you're a fan of classic or new Who, there's something for everyone.
Join us on this incredible journey as we unravel the mysteries of time and space.
Don't miss out. Subscribe to Traveling the Vortex today on your favorite podcast platform.
Traveling the Vortex. Your ticket to adventure awaits.
Traveling the Vortex is a proud member of the Direction Point Podcast Network. You're listening to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. Keep collecting.
Hi, I'm Juliet.
And I'm Nathan.
Experience Doctor Who from the very beginning through a classic fan's eyes.
And through the eyes of a new Who fan.
Reminisce and relive those classic moments with Nathan as he offers fun insight.
Or experience them for the first time with Juliet as she dwells on social issues, history, fashion, and the size of a flashlight.
We're the Time Streams Podcast.
Find us on Spotify, Stitcher, or Apple Podcasts. You're listening to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. Keep collecting.
It's my time.
Hello and welcome to My Time. I hope everyone's had a great couple of weeks here. Anyway, what's going on? The Doctor Who movie, 1996, they found all the master prints. And so they're making it in 4K. And I believe as this recording, the steelbooks have all sold out across many platforms, unless companies are holding back stock for later. There's also going to be a DVD release. So that's something important. Speaking of DVDs, I will be on a DVD. I guess I'll put that in quotes. I will be kind of on a DVD coming out from Real Time Pictures about the USA tour. I fully expected to be part of the documentary and found out I was relegated to the bonus section of the disc, which was not premiered at Galley 1. I received an email from my friend Nick Seidler, who said he was super disappointed that neither one of us were in the documentary. And I thought, okay, well, I took all that time, that entire day down in Chicago to film, what I knew about it. I was there, how little disappointing it was. And of course, I Keith Barnfather is a good friend and he's got his, discretion on editing and all that stuff. And I completely respect that. But I do also have to say I'm disappointed that I'm not part of that. And you know what? I understand. I can't wait to get the discs. I ordered 2 because I thought I was in it. So I may be returning one or selling one because I don't need to if I'm not part of the main deal. A lot of people need to know about the Chicago Who USA tour. If you were there, you know that there were no dealers' rooms. There was no videos. There were no celebrities. Even one person told me, I don't even remember seeing the bus. Well, the trailer was there. Bessie was there. You could buy things from the tour. I mean, I got my T-shirt and my mug and my buttons. I was like, yeah, well, I'm a collector. I'm going to get this stuff. But I was hoping to meet John Pertwee. I was hoping to see that again, but it didn't happen. And I was also a Doctor Who dealer. I wanted a table there. Well, they did it at Navy Pier, and my guess is there was all these fees that had to be, and plus there was no indoor facility at Navy Pier back in those days. Now there is, but there wasn't back then. And, but you know what? That's okay, because I'm going to do a podcast later on, when I finally get that, I think what I'll do is I'll do a live commentary on that DVD, and I will add my thoughts to it. I mean, there's a lot of great stuff in there, the artwork and of the trailer, and it's hosted by my friend Sophie Aldred. It's wonderful, but that's how it goes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. And so in this case, the bonus features is kind of like, it's like what you said wasn't very important. At least that's how I feel about it. Maybe I'm wrong, and maybe I'll get some backlash for that, but I thought what I had to say was very important. In fact, at one point during one of my interviews, my friend Russell McGee had stopped the tape and said, "We have never heard that before." That's important. And I thought it deserved to be part of the story. So we will get to that story. Don't worry. The whole story will be told. I may need to gather a panel of people. If you were at the Who USA tour in Chicago, contact me at drwhocollectorspodcast@gmail.com, and let's get a roundtable and let's talk about it. Okay, that should solve the problem. Okay, so there's that. And that's about it. So there's not much more going on that I didn't already talk about in the introduction. So that's my time for today. So after a quick break, we're going to get to the main story, which has a little bonus clip added into it because this was a very, very special interview today for our 99th episode. Anyway, stay tuned.
The vervoids are probably the best dirty joke in Doctor Who.
They're hermaphroditic plants.
A lot of plants are.
So there you go. It's based on science.
No, they'll ship anything.
There are probably 11 and handle shippers out there. You just have to drill a hole where his mouth is, and you're all set.
He needs the room. I've seen it in pictures.
I'm not saying you're not a fan. I'm saying you don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Doctor Who gives a drunken Doctor Who podcast for the end times.
You are invited on an adventure across all of time and space, in a completely random order. It's the Police Box in the Junkyard podcast. Jump in the Tardis with your hosts,
Eric Gulbranson,
Asad Kheshki,
and
Matthew Kressel.
Explore Doctor Who TV stories, audio adventures, and books, both novels and non-fiction. The Police Box in the Junkyard podcast. It's the entire Whoniverse on shuffle. The Police Box in the Junkyard podcast is a member of the Direction Point Network and is available about once a month wherever you find your podcasts. You are listening to the Doctor Who Collectors podcast. Keep collecting.
Up there is the scanner, those are the doors, that is a chair with a panda on it. Sheer poetry, dear boy.
Hello, everyone. Before we get to the main story, this is Larry from the future. In this episode's interview, we talk a lot about our good friend Katie Haynes, and Katie was very kind enough to send a message to Cal that she'll be hearing for the first time when this episode drops. So here is Katie Haynes, followed by our main feature.
Hiya, Cal. I wanted to send you a hello to let you know that I'm thinking of you. I'm really, really sorry we couldn't meet at Chicago Tardis this year, but I also want to thank you for just being so incredible. You are another 13 I admire, I think the world of, and you've actually made your own TARDIS, and you have your own TARDIS chickens. And one of the very fact that you sent me my own TARDIS key, that is, I was humbled by that. I was so humbled. I love my Build-A-Bear, don't get me wrong, but that was like, Cal, you are so incredible. And every time you wear 13, every cosplay you take on, you are brilliant. And we are absolutely going to meet in the future. And I'm humbled and honored to call you my friend. Keep being amazing, Cal. You are awesome. All the love from both of my hearts. You're so brilliant.
And now it's time on the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast for our main feature today. Today, I talk with a lot of Doctor Who fans and collectors and cosplayers. And I had the wonderful privilege of meeting this my next guest on TikTok and as well in person at the last Chicago Tardis, and does an amazing 13. So we're going to talk to her today. So please welcome to the show, Kal Power. How are you?
I'm doing good. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you for being on the show. It was great. I was so glad to see you at Chicago Tardis. In fact, it was
such an amazing con. I had so much fun. I hope my schedule works out again next year so I can go again.
I hope so, because our TARDIS needs a 13, and I think you fit the bill perfectly for that. We've kind of been lost without our good friend Katie Haynes, who has moved to the UK.
I'm so jealous of her. That's so amazing. She got to move over there, but I'm so jealous.
Yeah, but she was kind of a fixture at our convention, so it's nice to have another person kind of come into that role. So for those listeners that might not know who you are yet, so how did Kal Power come to be?
You want the Doctor Who side of that, or my whole background?
Your whole background.
So I started cosplaying when I was probably around 13 years old. Mm-hmm. Just simple cosplays. Someone told me about Comic-Cons. I looked them up, and I realized that I've been missing out on something my whole life that I should have been going to from a much younger age, because I love dressing up in costumes and stuff. So I made my first costume, which was Hawk Girl from DC Universe. I'm a big superhero fan, and I made her out of duct tape. It was great. And then my mom took me to my first convention, very supportive of me and my crazy hobbies that I seem to always come up with. And so I went to my first convention, when tiny little con outside of Wichita, Kansas, and then loved cosplaying, loved the community. Met some amazing people that are still my close friends to this day, and I started cosplaying from there, got into more nerdy stuff. Now I run my own costume business called Kal Power Creations, where I sell random objects I make. I also do a lot of furry stuff, so I do fursuiting and all that fun stuff. But I've been cosplaying since I was 13, and I'm 27 now. So over half my life I've been cosplaying. Wow. Yeah.
That's amazing. And of course, listeners, we will have all of her contact and link information on this page on the website in case you do want to exchange, buy something from Kal Power Creations. That's wonderful. And you mentioned your mom. I got to meet your mom too. What a sweet lady.
She's awesome. Both my parents are big supporters of everything I do. Like, if you're watching my working on my TARDIS videos, my dad has been a big help on that fun project.
Yeah, I've seen him working on that. That's amazing. If you are not a TikTok person, I suggest you get on that platform, because it's you can follow the TARDIS building adventure from the beginning, pretty much from there.
I also have it on Instagram. Most of it I also try and put on Instagram when I can, if I post on both platforms.
Sounds good. So when did you first fall in love with Doctor Who?
Oh, probably. So Doctor Who, I watched Torchwood first, and then I watched Doctor Who.
Okay.
Which that was confusing, because I watched all of Torchwood, and you see Captain Jack running around with the hand at some point in time, and I really thought I missed something in Doctor Who. I'm like, not Doctor Who, in Torchwood. I'm like, where did his hand come from? And then there's an episode that has a TARDIS sound in it. I was like, what is this sound? Like, I was so confused. And I searched online, missing episodes of Torchwood. What am I missing? And then finally it pops up with Doctor Who. And I heard of it. It was about the same time I started cosplaying as when I got into Doctor Who. Mm-hmm. And then I started watching Doctor Who with, I started out with 9, and I watched it all the way. And then when I got caught up, I think was right around the middle of Matt Smith's run. And I fell in love with Matt Smith and River Song. She's my favorite character, and all of that. And that hooked me on Doctor Who, and been addicted to it ever since.
Wow. Did you get to meet 9 at Tardis?
Yes, I did. That was so awesome meeting him. He was so nice.
He was such a gentleman. I actually talked to him briefly in the hallway as he was kind of on a mission, and I didn't want to interrupt him. But he was just super kind and very thankful for all the warm welcome he had received from everybody that talked to him. So that was really nice. Christopher Eccleston was at Chicago Tardis. If you're not understanding what we're talking about out there, but he was wonderful, and he's going to be back in Chicago for I believe Fan Expo Chicago. He's going to be back for that. So of course, watching from that far back and what you are into now. So what was your reaction when Jodie Whittaker was announced as the 13th Doctor?
So she was announced when I was in college. And during my college period, I did fall out of Doctor Who just because college life was hard. So Absolutely. I didn't know we were getting a female Doctor because, correct me if I'm wrong, but I remember I watched Peter Capaldi 12 Regeneration. But when it first came out, they didn't have Jodie's Regeneration in there, correct?
I don't remember, but when I saw it, it did.
Okay, I saw it a day early in theaters. I went to the theaters for it. And for some reason, I don't remember realizing that it was a female or something. But I want to say for some reason when the one I saw had her cut, so I didn't know who the next Doctor was.
Okay,
and then I went to college, and I got swamped with college, and I just completely fell out of Doctor Who, sadly. And then all of a sudden, everybody was telling me that they're like, "Have you seen the new female Doctor?" I'm like, "Doctor Who doesn't have a female." And then I realized 13, and I got super excited because female Doctor needs. I was so excited. The first episode with her falling through falling through the train when she jumps up and she's like, "Am I a woman?" or something. That's one of her first lines. I'm just like, nope, she's my favorite. Her and Matt Smith are my two favorite Doctors. Like that one line, just like, yeah, she's my Doctor. I vibe on that level with her, and so. But then I fell out of watching her again because COVID happened and all of life happened.
Right.
And then it wasn't until last year when I actually finished watching her last season because I was trying to catch up with Doctor Who because I wanted to cosplay her, but I didn't want to cosplay her without finishing her whole run. So
Gotcha.
I loved all of her stuff. I have favorites and least favorite episodes with every single Doctor, but there's some her first season is one of my favorite seasons.
It's a good season, absolutely.
It is.
Actually, my favorite line from that first story is still, "Oh, it's okay. A few hours ago, I was an old Scotsman." It was just that whole thing is just so good. I missed meeting Jodie Whittaker last year. She was supposed to be at Fan Expo Chicago, and she got another show, so she couldn't come.
Yeah.
But ended up, just missing that out. But I'm hoping she comes back and to the area because it would be great to meet her. I would be.
I want her to come to Kansas because, of course, I have my Tardis, and if she comes, my Tardis is based off of her Tardis. It's the color is a little bit off, but everything else on my Tardis is officially based off of her Tardis. So I want her to come to a con in Kansas so I can take my door off my Tardis and bring it so she can sign my door. I want her to sign the inside of it because I just think that'd be awesome because my Tardis is her Tardis.
That is great. Yeah, I hope so too. I hope she does more conventions, but she keeps getting hired for TV. So it's
she's a great actor. I love her as an actress.
She's a great actor. I mean, on top of that, but
I need to watch some of her other stuff that she's in because I really get a kick out of her acting and stuff.
Have you seen Broadchurch?
I have not. I started
that's a good one.
And then I stopped it, and I started, and I stopped it. Yeah, I need to watch it all the way through.
There's another one where she pretends to be a doctor. Medical doctor, and that's one too. I can't remember the name of it. I know somebody.
I can't think of it either because I was laughing. Yeah, because I was watching that when I was laughing. I'm like, well, technically, you are a doctor.
Yes. Well, of course, just your general looks. You have a lot of similarities to Jodie's features, so that you kind of fit right into that role. Which is something that when I met Katie Haynes for the first time, I was like, oh my gosh, did you just naturally come out that way? And she goes, yes, this was my look, and it just happened to work. So did you change your look to fit Jodie at all?
So my hair is naturally, you can see my roots coming in, it's naturally a darker color, but when I decided to cosplay her, my hair was already doing this fade, because usually I dye my hair. Normally, before I got into cosplaying 13, my hair was red. So I already let it grow out, so I just had to get all the red out of it. And since I've been cosplaying and I love cosplaying 13, I haven't dyed my hair red yet again. So, but no, like, everything you see, this is normally how I look. Okay. I guess the one thing I've technically changed is I used to have an undercut, like a full undercut, and I've since let it grow out. So technically, officially, my hair is 2 lengths because of it. I have a shorter length here and a longer length because of my undercut. That's the only thing I've changed on my appearance. But before that, my hair was this long minus my undercut.
Okay. Well, you just kind of fit right in. So it really, really does match.
Thank you.
And you're welcome. You're welcome. So, on becoming the 13th Doctor here, what was the first piece of the 13th Doctor costume you either created or purchased?
Sonic screwdriver. That was the first thing I purchased. I live in Kansas. There's nothing around me. I'm on a farm in the boonies. Right. The closest town is 30, 45 minutes away, roughly. Wow. Okay. And I remember going to the mall before the mall died. And it had to be right after, I forget when. I can't remember exactly the timeline, but it took anything Doctor Who related to get to my hometown. It took forever. So I remember watching the first episode, loving her. I was a man, yada, yada, whatever. All of her little funny Doctor Who lines and stuff in the first episode. And I went to Booksmore, Barnes & Noble.
Okay.
One of those places. They used to sell a lot of Doctor Who stuff.
Sure.
And, they had her Sonic there, and I immediately bought it. Usually I'm not one for impulse buying, but I saw it. It was the only one they had, and I just grabbed it. I'm like, nope, this is mine. I had a friend with me, and she's like, you've only watched one episode of this Doctor. You don't know if you're going to like her. Don't just buy something. I'm like, oh, no, I'm going to like her. I vibe with her too well. Her way of talking, her actions are very similar to my own. I've had people ask me how I act, if I'm acting like her. I'm like, no, this is sadly me every single day. I don't act like her. That's just me. And so immediately bought that Sonic because I'm just like, no, I'm going to watch all the episodes. And the more I watched her, the more I fell in love with her. So Sonic screwdriver was the first thing I bought. And then this blue shirt actually was Hot Topic, and my jacket, which is next to me, are the next two things I bought.
Okay. Yeah, I understand how that goes too, because I had taken almost 2 years to put together my Peter Davison costume, and most of my costume was made by the same guy that made Peter's costume.
Oh yeah, I remember you telling me about that. Yeah. That's so cool.
So yeah, that was I found who did it, and we worked out a great deal, but it took a long time to do that. And it's it's dedication to that. And then cosplaying has been a newer kind of coming to the front of the foray. And I'm really pleased. I don't know if you had a chance to meet Abby Rago at Chicago Tardis.
Yes.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, I'm terrible with names, but yes.
I'll share a personal thing with her. She's a former student of mine. I'm a teacher by day, so I didn't know that when I met her, because married name and all that, and of course it was elementary school, so it was a long time ago. But she said she didn't remember me at first anyway, but she's like, "Wait a minute, didn't you teach at?" I'm like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, you were my teacher." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, well that's wild," and I'm glad that you turned into somebody who's doing all this. And she has it's just the cosplay. And of course, did you meet Jen Greeley at Chicago Tardis?
So actually, I've known Jen Greeley since. She was one of the first people I met at my first con.
Wow.
Her and the iBots, the rest of the group she runs with a lot. Yes. They were at that first convention I went to. And they're actually, I blame them for me being into cosplay, because I was seeing the iBot brothers, the two brothers. She's friends with one of them. I'm blanking on all their names right now, so I apologize.
That's all right.
But I was eating at the restaurant that was at the convention center, and the two brothers walked by, and they stopped and was like, "Hey, by the way, I love your Hawk Girl cosplay." And these guys cosplay these big, gorgeous Iron Man costumes that clink and have speakers.
Sure.
Stuff. I think she's worn a suit. I want to say she's worn one of their iBots suits at one time, and that was like the biggest compliment to me as a 13-year-old. My first cosplay. These, in my opinion, amazing cosplayers said I look good. I'm just like, well, I got to keep going now. They think I look good. This is my first go. Let's see where I can take this. So I've actually known her for more than half.
That's
now.
wonderful. She is one of the most positive people I know in cosplaying, and promotes that general feeling, because I've been drawing to that. I've had more cosplayers on my show now because I want to bring that out in the fan world as well, not just the collecting world, but the fan world. And speaking of that, let me ask this question. So when you are putting together your 13th Doctor, what details do you think people most overlook with the 13th Doctor?
Okay, this one's weird. Her pants.
Pants are always hard. I know,
they are,
because they're usually custom made.
So my pants, I ordered, when I was looking for the pants, the ones I wear, I ordered like 5 pairs from Amazon, wasn't happy with any of them, returned all of them, because like you can buy this cosplay from like cosplay shops and stuff.
Sure.
But all those pants to me don't look right.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're supposed to be high-waisted. They're not the most flattering pair of pants out there, and they're not supposed to like hug your legs. They're supposed to be almost bell-bottom, but like more tube shape. Right. And so it took me a while, and I finally found the ones I like. And they're more of a heavier cotton material, and I just had to hem them up to have her rolled up pants. But in my opinion, that's the one thing I think a lot of cosplayers, not by any means saying anybody else's cosplay is bad. I just, when people buy that pre-made one, it's the pants are more of a form-fitting pants when they're not, instead of being the tube pants that, in my opinion, she technically has. And then the other weird thing that they look over, one second, I'm going to grab my jacket.
Sure.
The other thing that they look over, I learned this one from Katie, actually, is the inside of 13 sleeves are supposed to be pink.
Ah.
Yeah. Okay. So this jacket from Hot Topic is technically not accurate because the inner sleeves are not the pink color.
They're not pink, right.
Yeah. So I'm actually remaking my own jacket to have the pink inner line sleeves just for the fun of it.
Yeah, it's tough unless you can get a hold of the original maker with the specs, because a lot of times these pre-made stuff are made from photographs, and I'm looking at, I've got 2 Jodie Whittaker figures here on the wall, and I don't see the pink on the jacket. I don't see the pants are kind of weird as well, because they didn't quite get it. In fact, the head doesn't almost look right on one of them. The other one looks more like you, actually. So that's
I know what you're talking about. Yeah. I have a little action figure.
It's a little one, yeah.
I
think I can grab it here. It's right here on the wall. Yeah, this one here.
Yes, I have that one. Yeah,
this is the one I got this from. Who North America gave this to me when I was guesting one year, and I thought, this one looks more like you than Jodie. So that's kind of.
I think it was that one I got at Planet Comic Con last year, and I had my niece and nephew with me, and my niece and nephew thought I had a version of myself.
Let's see if I can get this
one. Because my niece and nephew haven't watched Doctor Who yet. They know what Doctor Who is, but they think the 13th Doctor and Auntie Cal are the same person.
This is the other one I have.
Oh, I've looked at that one. Yeah.
This came out. This is one of the first ones that came out.
Yes.
Back in the day, and I got this from Product Enterprises, I want to say. It looks like it, yeah. And this one, of course, has it's a little bit different. The pants color are slightly different than this one. This one is actually just all plastic, but this one actually has clothes. But they got the jacket pretty close. The t-shirt was the first thing I saw. The year after she was announced, a couple friends of mine imported these t-shirts because they were made in England, and now of course you can't get them anywhere because everybody wants those t-shirts.
I luckily have the Hot Topic versions of this one and the pink one, and then I have another version of the blue shirt by a different brand maker.
Okay.
So I luckily have been able to scout out a couple of them. I have a hard time with the sizing because I'm a size small in most things, and most size small people won't give up their clothing because it's hard to find replacements for those.
This is true. That is true.
When I can find a size small or a small medium, because Hot Topics has weird sizing, I jump on it because I'm like, I wear this costume a lot. Definitely need more shirts.
Yep. Okay. So, when you do you feel ever different when you step into the 13th Doctor persona compared to being Cal?
No. 13 and me are one and the same.
That's one.
That is very much just my normal personality, and It was actually, so I work at Rolling Hill Zoo in Salina, Kansas. That's my day job. I'm an education program lead out there. And I had one funny experience with a Whovian. She was one of the teachers that was in my program that I was talking about and stuff. And then afterwards, I had to walk him down to lunch. And the jacket I had on me is my Tardis hoodie. Okay. Not zoo standard, but it's way warmer, and I love my Tardis hoodie, so I threw that on, not thinking anything of it. And this lady comes up to me, she's like, you like Doctor Who? I'm like, oh yeah, obviously love Doctor Who. Yeah. And she's like, do you cosplay the 13th Doctor? I'm like, oh yeah. I'm like, well, it's all like with my hair. Work is just flipped the other direction. And she's like, do you cosplay 13? I'm like, oh yeah. She's just like, you act she's like, the whole time you're up there, I could only see 13 talking to us. She said, you don't sound like her, but if 13 was American, I'm pretty sure it's you. Yeah. And I was like, thanks. I was like, yeah, because I talk with my hands. I'm very boisterous, very, trying to keep, especially with kids. You have kids
of course.
I'm talking with. Yeah, so I'd be, keep their attention. I'm very hyperactive, very, look at me. And she's like, yeah, I was wondering how you're up there the whole time and your hair and everything. You just look like 13. I'm like, thanks, I guess. So there's not really much of a difference when I cosplay 13 because it's just me.
It's just you. Yeah.
It's just me, sadly.
It's just you. Okay. So has portraying the Doctor when you're in full Doctor mode, has it changed the way you see leadership, optimism, or resilience?
I don't think so, because I'm always a very optimistic person. I always try to see the good in people, which is why I like Doctor Who, because the Doctor always sees the good in people.
And Doctor Who fans are the friendliest in the world, absolutely.
Yes, they are. So not really, because to me, that's why I like 13. I see things from her same point of view and everything. So not really. To me, I try to see the good in people, so... Yeah,
as the 13th Doctor would, absolutely. Yes. That's in my opinion, and I know just from being in the world of Doctor Who myself, watching the controversy back and forth that people created when Jodie took over the role, and of course it happened again when Ncuti took over the role. It was the same people giving the hey, wait a minute, this isn't right, and I'm like, well, that's not right about it. I mean, we've had both. Time Lords that regenerated into women in the Peter Capaldi era. We've had African American Time Lords, if you want to call them that, regenerate into white people and back and forth and whatever. It's not a race thing. It's how the species is.
So they don't feel like we do. They are the same person no matter what their outer shell is.
Right. And Ncuti brings it. I don't know if you've watched any of the Ncuti episodes.
I have. I was watching it as it was coming out, yes.
I was always thinking of Lux when he actually points out the fact that they're in 1958 and he and his companion are not the right people for that time period, and he kind of brings it to the front. And it happened again, previously in the Jodie era, in the episode of Rosa Parks.
I love the Rose. That's one of my favorite episodes with her because Doctor Who's they have touched on it, but not so blatantly. At least in my opinion, I haven't watched all of old Who, so maybe they did
not so much. There wasn't much of that in the old Who because they avoided a lot of that controversy, and they didn't do a historical episode like that. But that episode when Tosin Cole gets slapped across the face for trying to help somebody, and it kind of became real. And I had a chance to talk to Tosin because he came to Chicago Tardis a couple of years previously, and I asked him, the first thing I asked him was, so now that you're in Doctor Who, has your life changed? He goes, yes. Before, he used to go to the theater, do his job, and go home. Now there's 18 people waiting for him at the side door because he's a Doctor Who companion, which he didn't know.
Of course.
It was kind of cool. But I asked him about the Rosa Parks episode, and he said as a British citizen, it's a little different because they ended segregation a long time before we did. And he said, but it did certainly get a lot of people's attention. So the Jodie Whittaker era really stirred up a lot of feelings, and of course, and without going into super politics stuff, it's got a lot of people going, oh, wait a minute, we don't want to feel bad, that kind of thing. But I think she did a great job in that. In fact, the most difficult job of all was that end of the episode when she said, no, nobody get up. We have to let this, history has to happen. And we didn't know that doctor wasn't there and all that stuff. It's like, that is exactly what was the, I always think of, did you ever see Quantum Leap or know what that was?
Sounds familiar.
Okay. It's another time traveling thing. This guy would jump into other people. And there was an episode where he jumped in and a guy was choking and he helped him, and somebody else got to the victim and said, "Are you okay, Dr. Heimlich?" And the guy was like, "Did I just invent the Heimlich maneuver?" That kind of thing. Yeah. And the doctors had some of those moments in classic Who, especially. There was things like, "Oh, wait, hang on a second. I got to go do this for a second," or I got to drop an apple on Newton's head, or whatever the case was. So yeah, it's really cool. Let's move to your TARDIS. So what prompted you to buy a TARDIS and refer?
I did not buy my TARDIS.
You didn't buy it, okay?
Given her.
Oh, as a gift. Oh, yes. Wonderful. Okay.
So I don't know if he wants me saying. So I'm not going to say.
You don't have to say names. No, it's okay.
There is a very nice gentleman who lives right outside of Topeka, Kansas. He's actually I can't remember if he's a pastor or a minister, but he built a TARDIS with his father during COVID times.
Oh, good thing to do. Yeah.
Just now, my TARDIS, and he posted on Facebook, and I'll do a whole big story time about this on my TikTok eventually because I want to get her done before I do the story time. But I'll of course tell it here. I'm always happy to tell the story. Because I didn't tell you the fun little update about the story at Chicago TARDIS. I meant to, but I did not.
Oh, okay. So sure.
So my TARDIS, he posted up on the TARDIS owner's page on Facebook. And I was at work. I was working at the zoo, and my lovely mother happened to see it. Oh. And she saw it within 2 minutes of it being posted. So she sent him a message saying, "Hi, my daughter would love a TARDIS." And she's a big Doctor Who fan, and because somewhere in his post, he's like, "This TARDIS is for free. I wanted to go to a good home, a good loving home, to a true Doctor Who fan to love some more in the future, yada, yada." And it also had a console. It had he made the fourth Doctor's console too, which there's some videos of me playing with that too on my TikTok. So my mom messaged him and she was like, "I don't know what information you need to prove she's a really big Whovian. So here's a whole bunch of pictures of her with David Tennant, River Song, all these other actors, her cosplays." And this guy was like, "Yeah, sure. When do you want to pick it up? In a couple months, yada, yada." And my mom's like, "Let me wait till she gets home to make sure this is all she wants this TARDIS." And so I come home and my mom's like, "Hey, I want you to look at this. Someone has this up for grabs. And I don't know if you know," her just being funny. And so she shows me that this person has a TARDIS. I'm like, "Where? Kansas. Where in Kansas?" And she's like, "Outside Topeka," which is only about 2.5 hours for us. I'm like, yes. How much? Like what? And my mom's like, "He's just giving it away to a loving Doctor Who person." I'm like,
wow.
I'm like, yes, 100%.
That's a win.
When pick it up? So then I got in contact with him. And he's like, "Well, you just need to have a way to pick it up." Well, I live on a farm. I got plenty of ways to go and move a TARDIS.
I bet.
And luckily, I fit in the back of my dad's truck, so we could just take the truck there. And the guy's like, "Well, you can, he's like, there's no rush. So if you need to come pick it up in a month or next summer or something, I understand." I'm like, "How about in 3 days this weekend? Can we just do it like that weekend?" It was funny because the day that I went to go. We went and picked up the TARDIS was the day that the episode where the world was ending.
The Flux?
I can't remember what the name of the episode was. It was like May 13th or something.
Okay.
The day the Doctor was trying to get back to, but it was supposed to be the day that was ending. So that day that the world was supposed to be ending in Doctor Who was the day I was going to go pick up the TARDIS, and I just thought that was funny. And also that episode was coming out that day.
Yeah.
And we're trying to avoid spoilers that day. We're going and picking up my TARDIS. But, so sorry, sidetracked.
No,
but,
it's okay. It's okay.
But so I went and I met him, and he actually gave me, let me grab it. He gave me one other thing with my TARDIS.
Sure.
So So on top of giving me this beautiful TARDIS, he also gave me this.
Oh, yeah.
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 Barbie. And because I told him that I cosplay 13, he saw pictures, he's just like, well, I got this. Do you want this? I'm like, you're just giving it to me? He's like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so there's videos of me, because we get to his house, and I'm like already searching when we get down the road, because he lives down a dirt road. I'm like looking around for a TARDIS. I don't know where it's at. I was like, where's my TARDIS? And then we pull up, and there she is. I can see it from the door. And wow. I wanted to go and cosplay, but I was told that could be considered cringy. Yeah, maybe. But I mean, I at least wore the undershirt. Yes. I did have the undershirt on. And as soon as I jumped out of the car, he's just like, I like your 13. I'm like, thanks. And so it was super cute. And then he's just like, oh yeah, on top of the TARDIS, as we were walking over to her, because I wanted to run to that TARDIS. I was like, this is mine. She's gorgeous. Yeah. This is mine. He's like, I also have this for you if you'd like it. I'm like, yeah. Yeah, I would, because 13, this was like my first like actual, besides the pop vinyl, this was my second 13 like figurine I ever got.
Yeah.
And so videos of me standing looking at my TARDIS just like protecting this. But then he leads me over to the TARDIS, and I'm just like, because I just wanted to like run around it, look at it, but I didn't want to be like, what's the proper protocol for getting a TARDIS? What's the proper way to go about,
First time I've ever heard of somebody giving one away, so that's really wonderful.
Yeah. So I was just like, you want to, he's like, can I show you? I'm like, yes, please, take it from here, show me. And the inside of the police call box, he actually had the phone that was the type of phone that is actually, sorry, I have people texting me, that is actually the type of phone that would be found in the police call boxes.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
So he got one of those, he shipped it over from London, and then there's a couple of the light on top is shipped over from London, he said.
Yes.
And so it is a very accurate TARDIS, like to the Fourth Doctor era, but the Fourth Doctor TARDIS is actually very similar to 13's TARDIS, so I was beyond thrilled. And so him and my dad had a fun time getting, I hope to obviously, but the guys coordinating how they're going to drop this TARDIS safely into a truck bed. Because at first we thought we can just sit it on the truck, like upwards. That's how my brain had it, because the base is big enough to fit onto it. And then my dad's like, no, we could have issues with over underpasses. Technically, I think we would have been fine. We should have still cleared it by 4 feet, I think. But just to be on the safe side, we decided to lay it down, which trying to drop that TARDIS onto the side was...
I bet
it was nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I bet.
But he did the guy did a great job hoping to drop the TARDIS down. He had a whole game plan using hay bales and, farmer style. We were going to use hay bales to drop the TARDIS.
Absolutely.
It worked out. And then,
Doctor style. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Like, my mom videotaped it all because she was not going to get in the way of whatever us three were scheming to get this TARDIS onto a truck. Because I thought we have hay beds, we have trailers that move hay. I'm like, just take one of those. Decided against that. It worked out with the truck, but we had to lay this thing on its side, and then we finally got onto the truck. And my favorite thing that I had to do was, since I'm the smallest and the lightest one, I had to go crawl up on top of the TARDIS to help secure the strapping.
Sure,
so
of course.
Another picture of me sitting on a sideways TARDIS, waiting for the straps to be thrown up to me so I can strap it down properly. But that whole thing, and then trying to drive it home was so much fun, because there's certain people out there that know what a TARDIS is. Mm-hmm. And I got a couple looks from people who drove by us that did a quick, pointing out the window at the TARDIS, going down the road next to them. And then getting it home was the adventure, because when we got it home, the rain came in. It was raining all that week. And we thought we had a clear weekend. Nope, rain came in. So it started drizzling as they're trying to unload the TARDIS. She made it into her spot. We got her back upright, and then luckily my neighbor has a forklift, a heavy-duty forklift, so you could then forklift it up, because this guy made it so the base has a secondary base on it that has forklift holes.
Oh, nice. Very good planning.
So, yeah, super smart. So, and then we had her sit in the yard where my TARDIS landing pad is, but then we realized with all the rain and me having to fix her up, we moved her to the barn, which was a whole adventure trying to get that TARDIS into the barn. It was a whole process.
Oh my gosh.
It was, yeah.
Okay, so 2 episodes I'm going to tell you to watch that has the TARDIS on its side is Castrovalva, Peter Davison's first story, and Time Flight when it's in the back of a plane.
Yes.
And they have to go in the long way. Yeah, it's
me and the guy who made it, we were sending, like, I still chat with him. Me and him are now really good friends, actually.
Good.
So we were sending pictures of sideways TARDISes to each other, being like, and this is what it looks like going down the road.
Yeah.
We were saying jokes to each other about that and stuff, yeah.
That is awesome. And of course, how long has it been since you got it in the barn and all the work you've done? How much refurbishing needed to be done?
It was in pretty good shape.
Okay.
Of course, anything being out in the elements will take damage over time, and it did have some wood rot. There's a couple fun adventures with wood rot there, where when we first got into the barn, before I started stripping paint or anything, I thought it had 2 holes, which were like easy peasy, 2 easy holes. No. Sadly, how some of the paint absorbed the water and just started rotting from the paint down. So one whole part, so the side that has the door, and then there's a side here. There's a piece of wood that goes up and down here. That whole piece of wood had to be ripped completely off. I thought it was going to be the bottom 2 inches. Turned out that whole piece had to be ripped completely off and had to be replaced, which that wasn't hard to do. Me and my dad easily replaced all the wood. But the more I worked on it, more clean off the paint so I could repaint her and like give her a couple heavy coats of protecting. So because I'm putting her back outside.
Right.
So I covered her in lots of plastic. I also refer to the TARDIS as a she because the Doctor does. Just if I say she, I'm referring to the TARDIS. Sorry.
Sure. No, it's okay.
So it was a lot of work, and having to cut into the TARDIS is the most heartbreaking experience anybody can have as a Doctor. It's just, oh my! Because the one thing I was planning on doing much farther into the future was replacing the call box signs on the very top that said "Please." I wanted to make them light up. Yeah. That wasn't on my to-do list. It was like in a couple of years, but it turns out all 4 of those boxes were completely rotten for the most part. So then we had to pry them off. And how the guy built it was super smart. He built it from the inside out, so you don't have any nail holes on the outside of the TARDIS.
Right.
But because of that, you can't get to repairing stuff very easily. And he told me how he built it, and I was texting him as I was taking her apart, being like, where are these screws? Where did you put the screws, sir? I can't find the screws. And so we had to take a saw, a mini saw, and just start sawing into the wood.
Right.
And that was like, I let my dad do, because I'm just like, I don't think I can physically cut.
Emotionally, this is too hard. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's one part, because we had to the saw had to go through the nails itself too. So then it started shooting out sparks all throughout. And I have a couple of videos of that too. And it looks like you're cutting into ice, how the TARDIS would look like, in my opinion. You had to cut into her with actual sparks and stuff just shooting out.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Like, oh, great. Awesome. And then to finally pry the boxes off, we had to take a wedge, which is just a pure metal wedge like this, and shove it in and pound it down. Right. I did that, and that just was like, great, I'm just killing a TARDIS right now. Thank you very much. That is how it felt.
Well, when it's done, I'm sure it's going to look great. I'm sure.
Yeah, so she's done technically.
Okay, she's done. Okay.
She's only missing, because it's been cold out, so I haven't been able to go work. I have a couple paint jobs I need to touch up on her, and then I need to get the windows in, because I have the window stuff. Which trying to find the proper plastic for the inside the windows to give the wavy reflection was a pain. That took me.
Yeah.
So I need to finish putting that up. But besides that and a couple little things, she's technically ready to go back outside once the windows are up.
Well, now you know how it feels for some of those Dalek builders out there that are looking for these little parts that go on there to make it look right, and they have to find the right mesh to go around the front and all that. It's kind of, because and a lot of times it's like, well, we can't find that, so they end up settling, and then they're like, no, it doesn't look right. And of course, all the materials that they use in England are available over there, and they have them in their shops and all that. Mm-hmm. And I know that in the early days, the first TARDIS lasted pretty long. It lasted into the early part of the Tom Baker era. I know the console room collapsed in the middle of the Tom Baker era. That's why they went to an alternate one.
That's funny, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because the console stopped. That was the original console, had lasted all the way until that point, and then they had to redo it. And then eventually they did a new one, and they built several after that, obviously in the classic era. And then going into the Paul McGann era was a whole different console altogether. And that console is in Indiana. There's a guy, he has a museum there. He actually has the actual one from the movie.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's and of course all those props disappeared one day. They said Galley One. They said that they had a whole warehouse of all those Doctor Who props, and one day they went to check on them and they were all gone, and somebody had cleaned them out, including the console, which ended up in this guy's possession, but he won't say where he got it from. It's and I respect that. I mean, that's how that works. And speaking of which, listeners, I just got the news today that they found the original prints of the Doctor Who movie from 1996, and they're going to be releasing it on Blu-ray and 4K. And that should be on Amazon UK anytime now. So that's going back a few Doctors, but that's okay. I don't know. Have you ever seen the 96 movie?
Parts of it. I haven't seen the whole thing. Okay. Parts of it, parts of it.
It's pretty good. I mean, I saw it when it came out in '96. It was just the first Doctor Who we had ever. After it went off the air, we were like, we need it. It was like a shot.
I need to watch the whole thing. I was watching parts. I watched the beginning part of it, then fell asleep, and I have not watched it since.
Okay.
But jumping back to consoles. Sorry,
yes,
I'm jumping.
Please, consoles. That's all right.
So the guy I got my Tardis from also built this gorgeous Fourth Doctor console.
Okay.
And he was also giving that away for free. And he said I could take it if I wanted it. If I had the space, I would have taken that console. Because he let me play with it. He let me run around, press all the buttons. I spent probably a good 30 minutes just running around.
Sure.
He got the time rotator going for me with all the sounds and the lights. And I said, I still live at home with my parents on my family farm. And I was like, if I had the space, I would take this console in a heartbeat. Wrong doctor, don't care.
To build you another barn.
Oh, yeah. I have a work studio, but I don't think they would do that.
Probably not, no.
So then I didn't know whatever became, I knew he had it because he always joked. He's like, hey, if you ever want this console, it's sitting here waiting for me. And so then the day I was flying out to go to Chicago Tardis, he texted me saying, the console is also going to Chicago. And we're going to Chicago, of course, console's on the ground, I'm in the air. He's like, but the console, and you're going to almost the same place. I'm like, where is the console going? He's like, have you heard of Who North America?
I was hoping that was the console because 2-3 days ago I was on the Legend of the Traveling TARDIS with Keith Bradbury, and he showed off the console in the middle of the store. That's the one you're talking about. Oh, yes, hey, what a connection. Okay, I can't wait to tell him that I talk to you. So that's really cool. Yeah, he's got that console in the middle of his museum.
I was talking to, I'm terrible at names, I'm sorry. I was talking to somebody at Chicago Tardis. He's one of the people interviewing folks and stuff for the...
maybe Brandon Peters or Russell McGee.
I think it was one of those two I was talking to, because they also know people who run Who North America.
Yeah, that's probably the people, yeah.
Yeah, and so they were talking to me about it, and I was like, oh yeah, I know what console you're talking about. I've seen it. I've played with it. They're like, how? It just got here. They just put it together. How have you already...
they live out there.
I was like, the TARDIS that goes with that console is in my barn. I'm like, trust me, that TARDIS was so close to being in my house if I could have fit it in here.
Yeah.
But I was happy it went somewhere nice. And they jokingly nicknamed me the girl that said no to the TARDIS, or to the console.
No to the console. Wow. Yeah. Oh, this is wild, because I just learned about that console being over at Who North America, because we do.
I meant to tell you when I saw you running around, because I thought you'd get a kick out of.
Yeah.
But then I kept forgetting because I ended up, one of the guys, one of those two already had a picture of it, so they sent it to me, and then I sent it back to the owner, or the original maker, and he was so happy to see it made it there in one piece and stuff. And then a day later, one of my friends ended up going there and took a whole video of it and sent it to me, and I sent it to the original owner, so he's happy to see that it's actually being used and properly taken care of, so he's happy that his props were
the Who North, if you ever get a chance to go to Who North America, it's definitely worth it.
I need to go.
Well, we do an event every year on October 17th. We do Doctoberfest at Who North America. I am the headline guest for that festival, and the museum is open, the shop is open, and we've got lots of stuff that happens all day. It's a lot of fun. It's a day of, I think we had like 500 people there last year, so it was pretty cool.
I was tempted to sneak down last year to it, but I also I'm a haunt actor, and that's on the weekend, and I scare people on the weekend during the weekend of October. And then I had something else going on in my hometown that weekend that I could have technically missed, but I decided against it. But maybe this year, if things fall into place, I might try and sneak down because I want to go to North America.
Yeah, I think you'd enjoy it. It's a wonderful experience to go to North America. Keith and Jenny and David, who run the place, I've been friends with them forever. So they're just wonderful people, and I'm glad that the council found a good home, because that's a good home. That's definitely
that is. I just thought it was so funny, and because Who North America is only like 4-ish hours away from where Chicago Tardis is, I think.
Yeah, roughly.
I looked it up out of my own curiosity to see if I could make it there and back in a day trip. Decided against it because of the snow and stuff. But yeah, I thought it was funny that both me and the Tardis or the console ended up in the same place within like a 4-hour radius of each other within the same day.
Yeah, and I know I'm sure you saw the Tardis they use for the photos at Chicago Tardis.
Yeah.
That's, my friend Gene owns that one. That one comes apart pretty easily. It's just kind of.
He showed me how it came apart because I would love to be able to travel with my Tardis. Because my hometown con, as I call, which is Planet Comic Con, it's a huge. We get big name guests. It's a huge convention.
Sure.
But the owner of that con said if I want to bring my Tardis, I could. But that would require somehow getting my Tardis off the farm again. And my Tardis isn't light. She weighs 300 pounds.
Yeah.
So she's made to take a tornado. It's her secondary base that's heavy, which is why. Right. But I technically could work and figure out how to get my Tardis to go to conventions. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, well, they would be able to help you because I think it just clips together on all that.
Yeah, it's so smooth how it all clips together and stuff. And I just want to make another Tardis that's a traveling Tardis.
Yeah, why not? Since you've got one, you can model another one. There you
go. Yeah, and
I
don't know if my friend still has the original blueprints, but we could figure it out. I can make a traveling Tardis if I really wanted to.
All you need is a copy of the Doctor Who technical manual from 1983. It's got the full specs in there.
Yeah. There's the 13th Doctor's TARDIS handbook. I have that, and it has the blueprints.
That's a good one too.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because it also has the color swatches in it too, which I wish I had when I painted my TARDIS. Because you can't go to the store and give them the TARDIS QR code color because it's a licensed color.
TARDIS blue is a licensed color. Yes,
But if you take something in that is that blue, they can scan it, and then it's not licensed.
That's correct.
Yep.
Oh, awesome. All right, let me talk more about back to your costuming and socials and stuff. So what so far in the world of Doctor Who, have you had any memorable convention moments, like say Chicago Tardis or where you go in Kansas?
My most memorable, like Chicago Tardis, was like so many like mini memories, but my favorite memory was meeting Alex Kingston at Planet last year. I made her a teddy bear of River Song, and I was nervous. It was the first time I've ever made a guest something, and I know it was a bigger item, so I was totally ready for her to be like, I love it, but I can't take it back because it's Build-A-Bear size, so it's like a good size teddy bear. And I customized it fully, so I did curly hair. I had to hand sew yarn into the hair that was curly, and then unbraided. Also had the big fluffy curls like her, and then I changed the eye color of the bear. I custom painted eyes to match her eye color, which is the creepiest thing you have to do when you make custom bears is zoom in on someone's face to be like, what does your eye look like?
Right.
So to deal with that, and then the outfit.
Close. Yeah.
it was. I made a couple, and every time I had to do eyes, I'm just like, what color is this person's eye? Let me just zoom in on these pictures. I feel like such a creeper. And then I made the outfit. The outfit is the brown gray dress she wears.
Yes.
Yeah, you know what I'm talking about with the zipper in the front and stuff. Yeah. So I made that I had a custom make that dress for that bear. And then I did the belt that it comes with too. And the belt was made out of leather. I also work with leather. So I made a fully real leather belt that I weathered, a gun holster and her gun that fit into the gun holster.
Nice.
who needs sleep? I just worked one late night into the early mornings making this thing.
You are a late night person, yeah.
That when I get on something, I will just go until I'm like asleep on my feet. Wow. And then on the belt, she has a pocket that holds the her diary. And then I made the diary too, and I filled in every single page of the diary. It wasn't identical to hers by any means, but I just, did scribbly lines, or I wrote little circular Gallifrey to the best of my ability. And, I try to put little things in there that she, flip through it, you'd recognize from the storyline, from both her storyline in the TV show and her storyline in Big Finish. Okay. I pulled from both of those. And then the end of it, because, she goes to the library, I just put to the library and then nothing else in a blank page. Because, of course, she's not coming back from the library. And then I weathered that book. I put in there, and the pocket could actually snap shut to keep the book safe. And then try to remember everything I did. Then I made leggings, custom leggings to fit the bear. Oh, and then I made her time vortex manipulator. And I made that one from scratch. It was also made out of leather, and I had to hand paint all the details. And it could snap open and shut just like theirs could.
Wow.
There's some other little things. The bear had 2 hearts, technically, because it is a build bear. So when you go to get the bear stuffed, you can request them to put 2 hearts inside of it. And sometimes they will allow you to. Oh. And so I was able to put 2 hearts. I actually worked at Build-A-Bear at the time, and I think both the hearts I put in there were their star ones, so it has space on the hearts. Mm-hmm. So even more Doctor Who themed. And then, was that it I did? Oh, I also had, the bear had a necklace that has a key on it to be the Tardis key. It was before I had my Tardis. It was not one of my Tardis's keys, but a Tardis key. Mm. So I did all that, and I gave that to her, and that was so cool. Try not to get sidetracked. Sorry.
No, it's fine. No, it's good stuff.
It was on the last day of the convention because I wanted to show off the bear to all my friends because I'm friends with all the staff and everything there. So I had the bear with me, and it was in a clear book bag, or a clear little Build-A-Bear book bag. So dressed as 13 with a bear on my back. It was pretty cute. And then I finally was like, okay, gotta get the poster, or gotta get my autograph from her, and I gotta give her this bear. And I was so nervous because I don't know, I have issues talking to famous people because I don't want to seem like I'm wasting their time or something. Like, you get that feeling. And everybody finds it hilarious because, again, my job is public speaking. I can talk to anybody and everything. Sure. But then one-on-one with famous people, I'm just like, what's talking? How do you talk? What? And so I go up to her, and I have my mom's with me, and my cousin, who is also my cousin's wife. We're super close. We bonded over Doctor Who. She's standing off to the side with my niece and nephew, just being like cheering me on from the side, being like, you can do it, go talk to her. And so I finally go up, and I was like, hey, can you autograph this? And she's like, oh yeah, the cow, yada yada. And then I was like, I also made you a thing. She kind of looks up. I just hold the bear up. I'm like, this is for you. It's a fully customized River Song Build-A-Bear. But I also know this is a bigger gift. So if you can't take it back with you, I completely understand. No harm, no hurt feelings from me. Just let me know, and I'll totally take it, back. Either way, if you want it, it's all yours. And she's like, really? I'm like, yeah, this is for you. And I was like, it's fully customized. I did the hair. I told her everything. I pulled out the book. She let me, I liked it because she wasn't rushing me, even though I was talking a million miles per hour to her, which I assume she understood most of my words because she was with Matt Smith, who can talk faster than I can. Yeah. So I'm assuming she probably caught some of my words. And she's like, are you sure I can have this? She's like, this is amazing. She's like, you could sell this for good money. You're just giving it to me. I'm like, yes. I'm like, you are my favorite in all Doctor Who, besides the Doctor themselves, like side character. I'm like, you are my favorite.
She's a sweetie. Yeah, absolutely.
And so then she's just like, yes, I'd happily take it. I'm like, awesome, yay! And then I got a picture with her, of course, and then I pretty much skipped away after that, just super happy. And one of the staff members saw me, and she's the one that helps run like the famous people area. Yeah. And I've known her for many years, and she just sees me like with this big grin on my face, just skipping away. She's like, "What did you do?" And I told her the whole story, and I'm like, in case she can't take it, because she knows, she's the one that warned me that sometimes famous folks can't take stuff because it doesn't fit in their bag. Right. And then the staff member members have to figure out what to do with gifts because that happens. And I told her, I was like, hey, if it turns out she can't take this, let me know. I will take it home. No harm, no foul. I understand. And she's like, oh yeah, I'll let you know. I was like, cool. I'm like, not a big deal anyway,
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't want to accidentally ending up in a trash can somewhere by whatever. Right. And she's like, no, I got you. And then she texted me at the end of the con when I'm helping clean up and stuff, because I also help work this convention. She's like, just letting you know, pretty sure I just saw Alex Kingston walking back to her room holding that teddy bear of yours. I'm like, yay.
She's taking it home.
And then when I was leaving the convention, like finally got done tearing down and everything, Alex Kingston was at the bar of the hotel I was staying at.
Wow.
I also stayed at the convention, and I knew that some of the famous guests stay there. And I really wanted to go talk to her, but I also, rule of thumb, if they're not in the convention center, don't bother them because it is now their off time.
Generally, it depends. I mean...
Yep, and I know she saw me because I was going down the escalators. Like, so this convention center is really big. It's the biggest one, like, in Kansas City. It's Bartlett Hall. And the hotel connects to... You have to go over a skywalk and then down an escalator, and then that takes you straight to the bar area, bar lobby.
Sure.
And you can't miss Alex Kingston's hair.
No.
It sticks out like a sore
thumb. That's the
thumb.
way it is, yes.
Especially if you are a Doctor Who fan, that hair... it's River Songs here. You're just drawn to it. And as I'm going down, I'm holding my furry head, and my fursuit is actually based off the TARDIS. I'm holding that, and I look over my shoulder. I'm like, oh my god, it's River. River's at the bar. And of course, my mom's with me because she was helping me pack up and stuff. She's like, do you want to go over and talk to her? I'm like, no, because I'm still dressed like 13 because this is a comfy outfit. I'll wear it at cons just as my normal clothing.
Yeah.
And she happens, and I saw River look, or Alex Kingston, saw Alex Kingston look over to me and kind of give me like a side eye, wondering if I was probably, recognizing a Doctor Who cosplayer, probably wondering if I was going to come over and bother her. So I was like, no, I'm not. We're going to let her have her alone time at the bar because she's
time, yes.
people. But then the funny thing was, we also had the guy that played what's his name? From Back to the Future, the Doctor from Back to the Future.
Oh, Christopher Lloyd.
Yes, he was sitting at the bar, two chairs over from River, from Alex Kingston. And I was like, wow, 2 time travelers sitting at a bar. I wish I took a picture of that because...
That would have been cool.
I was so trying, to give them space and stuff and not bother them because the con's over. Technically, all the nerds should be gone by this point in time in the day unless you're con staff.
Right,
even then, con staff aren't dressed like the 13th Doctor.
Right.
And so I was like, nope, I'm just going to give them their space. But it lives in my head seeing 2 time travelers sitting at the bar together, drinking drinks. But that was my favorite interaction. She was so nice, so kind. And then at Chicago TARDIS, I had so many nice interactions with people. Like, that was just so nice, so amazing.
Yeah, and it's one of my favorite Chicago TARDIS moments is I went to the bar in full Dr. 5, and I'm just having a beer, and all of a sudden I hear a voice next to me go, well, I guess this is where I'm sitting. And Peter Davison sat right next to me at the bar, and I said, okay. I said, what are you having? And so I bought him a beer, and I said, okay, tell you what, if you want to talk, we don't have to talk shop. He goes, thank you. And so he asked me about my day job, and we were just chat.
Oh yeah,
two adults, and it was very comfortable. And I said, and I just said, look, I know it's, he's played some interesting roles. I've seen him in not nice roles. I've seen him in other things, and just a genuine nice guy. But yeah. But your story about meeting, being starstruck, I'll tell you, when I was 15 years old, I went to the largest Doctor Who convention in the world, which was in Chicago, Illinois, at the Hyatt Regency Hotel. And I was meeting a group of friends from our Doctor Who fan club, so I was in the lobby. I was in like one of the, it wasn't like the front doors, but there was a little lounge off to the side. And so I was just looking out the window, and then somebody walked next to me and said, what a beautiful city. And I turn, and it's Patrick Troughton, the second Doctor, and his first visit to Chicago. And I started, he goes, well, how do you people know me? And I said, well, I've seen one story. Oh, which one? Which one? I said, the Crotons. We're showing that one here this weekend. I'm going to be doing a talk on that. And we just kind of talked about how he says, well, London doesn't have these buildings. I mean, it was like down the sky of Chicago. And finally, his person found him and said, oh, Mr. Troughton, we need to take you. So he said, it was very nice meeting you. And, we'll see you. And I was like, I just met the second Doctor. That was wild. I mean, I still think about it as a kid. It was like, man, and of course he passed away a few years later. So that was, and then last year, Michael Troughton came to Chicago Tardis. And I'm friends with his wife, Roxana. Actually, I know her pretty well. We're actually connected on socials. And Roxana was like, oh, let's go talk to Michael. So I was like, I told Michael the story, and he goes, I love stories about my dad being my dad and not being an actor or being a role. He's like, he was just being himself, really being, because he had heard that he really enjoyed his trip to Chicago, but didn't get any details as far as that goes, because he was pretty young at the time. And I thought, well, that's neat. And of course, I carry that memory forever, because that's one of those moments. And of course, this was a time before cell phones or anything like that, so there was no way to capture the moment. I just had to live the moment.
Of course.
That's one of the advantages of being old, I guess. So
I'm kind of the same. Of course, I have my phone on me, ready to take pictures, but I don't always, take a picture. I like to live in the moment. And like, if I were to have approached Alex Kingston at the bar, I wouldn't have done like, oh, Doctor Who this, or I probably would have been very much, thank you for coming. I appreciate you. You're an amazing human being. Can I buy you a drink? If not, I'm out of here. If you allow me to talk to you.
Night. Yeah.
Yeah. And it would have been like, and if like, I would have probably just more asked, not about Doctor Who, because I can find all that stuff on the internet, watching all the, all the channels and stuff. And it's more like, how's your day been? Did you have any, that's how I would have, like, if I approached them. Because I've had the pleasure of meeting some guests at the con, since I do help with stuff like Planet Comic-Con as a sister con, Planet Anime, and I was at the bar with some voice actors. Some really well-known voice actors. I didn't know who they were. Okay. And I had a great time embarrassing myself because I asked them what they did for a living. And they're like, yeah. Yep. I was sitting with one of my friends, and I guess the one across from me, I don't remember any of their names. I am so bad with the names. I apologize. But she voices the slime from My Life as a Slime, or I regenerate into a slime. And I didn't know who she was. I just thought, oh, another friend of a friend of a friend, because that's how the bars happen. All your friends gather around and you make new friends.
Yeah, that's how that works.
So I assumed she was a friend of a friend of a friend. And I was like, okay, cool, new friend. And then there's a guy, 2 people over from me. He voices a character in My Hero Academia that has a really big, long, fluffy tail, or has a tail fluff on the end of it. And I was talking to him about ghost hunting.
Wow.
About, if you believe in ghosts or not, and you just this fun path. And then we started talking about normal everyday things, and I was talking about the zoo. I'm like, oh, sorry, I didn't ask what you do for a living. And he just stares at me. I was like, I was talking about the zoo stuff. I feel bad. I didn't mean to cut you off. What do you do for a job? He's like, I'm a voice actor. I'm like,
yeah.
Oh. What's your name again? I'm sorry, he says, and I'm like, oh. And my friend next to me is like, Cal, you're an idiot. I'm like, yeah, I am. I don't know people unless especially voice actors. So I had a great time talking to a well-known voice actor about ghost hunting, which was great. Like, I wouldn't have changed that conversation for anything.
Those are the best conversations I've had.
Yeah,
the conversations I've had with Doctor Who actors outside of the convention are usually just the ones about everyday life or whatever the news of the day or whatever the thing is. That's usually where that takes me. It depends on the actor, because sometimes like Fraser Hines will walk up to me and just start talking to me, because I've known him for years, and he's actually delivered packages for me from England. My friend David J. Howe over there would say, "Oh, I'll just send it with Fraser." So Fraser's like, "I've got a zip package." It's a lot of fun. All right, I want to move on to another segment here. This is called Rapid Fire. So, so here we go. So, sonic screwdriver or psychic paper?
Screwdriver.
Yep. Favorite 13th Doctor quote?
Oh gosh, I can't think of them off the top of my head. Oh, I know what it is. It's the one with the witch. When she was accused of being a witch, she said something about when I was a man, this was a lot easier or something.
Yeah, that's good.
I was just like, yeah, that's true. Yeah, okay. I can't remember the exact something like that. Yeah.
Convention or photo shoot?
Convention.
DIY build or commissioned piece?
I try to make all my own stuff.
That's what I thought.
So.
All right, and finally, if the TARDIS could take you anywhere in time and space, where are you going first?
Oh gosh, anywhere in time and space.
You have the controls. You're gonna set them for wherever.
I just let the TARDIS take me somewhere. See where she thinks I should go.
The randomizer. I love it.
Yeah, I just go on the lovers and just take me where you think I should be.
Okay. Wow. Oh, that's great. Okay, so if you could please tell my listeners where they can follow you.
You can follow me on my two most active social medias are Instagram and TikTok under Kal Power. That is my cosplay handle. If you're interested in seeing anything I sell, that is under Kal Power Creations. I'm also on Facebook under Kal Power. I am just really terrible at posting over there. But Instagram and TikTok are my two main sites I'm on.
I get it. Facebook is for the older folks nowadays, but that's okay. All right. And of course, listeners, we will have all of her handles and links will be posted on our website. So my guest today is Kal Power. I'm so glad you made it for the show. I really enjoyed meeting you at Tardis. In fact, listeners, I was even more surprised when she had the hotel room right across from mine. So
that was pretty funny.
That was hilarious. I was like, wait, where were you going? Oh, you're my neighbor. Oh, there you go.
I do have to say it was funny that they didn't take any of your dishes in outside your door.
It stayed there for the whole weekend. I know. I was
for the whole weekend.
I put out my tray and they didn't pick it up at all. I'm like, oh, that's kind of. I don't know.
I kept opening the door. I'm like, either he's eating a lot of food every single day and stacking in the exact same way.
I usually I only eat that one dinner the first night, and I usually order it from the restaurant downstairs because it's real easy to get. And they said just put the tray out when you're done, and I'm like, okay, so I did, and then it stayed there until I checked out. In fact, when I checked out on Sunday, it was still there. So I'm like, oh, luckily there was not any food on it. I mean, it was pretty empty, but I was like, wow.
Sometime Monday afternoon because I was stuck there till Tuesday because of the snow.
Right.
Out sometime on Monday, and I was like, well, I'm assuming he's gone, but his dish is still here.
Still there. Still a memory of the collector's tray out on the front porch.
Yeah, just chilling there. I was like, is it ever going to leave?
Oh, okay. Well, again, Kal, thank you for being on the show. And it was a pleasure. Listeners, stay tuned for the most outrageous offer.
We are going on a journey, a very long journey, through the world of the target novelizations in publication order. Every week, we are looking at a new book, talking about Terrence Dicks, Malcolm Hulk, and all our Doctor Who novelization friends. Whatever you do, keep turning the pages. This is Jason Miller of the Doctor Who Literature Podcast, a member of the Direction Point Podcast Network, and you are listening to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. Keep collecting.
Hello, fellow time travelers, and welcome to the Doctor Who Target Book Club Podcast, the only podcast to discuss, in story order, all the Doctor Who novelizations. My name is Tony Whitt, and every 2 weeks or so, I'm joined by a 2 to 3 person discussion panel, including our so-called expert who's been a Who fan since 1979. That would be me. We also get the views of intermediate, casual, and novice fans who either have never seen the show or who have never read these books until these podcasts, including
Dalton Hughes
and
Alison Fitz-Seyfried.
You can find us on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you find good podcasts, or even ones like ours. You're listening to the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast on the Direction Point Podcast Network. Keep collecting.
All my travellings throughout the universe, I have battled against evil, against power-mad conspirators. I should have stayed here. The oldest civilization. Decadent, degenerate, and rotten to the core. Power mad conspirators, Daleks, Sontarans, Cybermen. They're still in the nursery compared to us. 10 million years of absolute power. That's what it takes to be really corrupt.
And now it's time for the most outrageous offer. The most outrageous offer is a Doctor Who item or Doctor Who related item that is just absolutely bonkers on the price. I'm getting a little tired of the nice euphemisms here, but this is bonkers. All right, so here we go. This is from Abe Books. This was sent to me by a user who did not want their name mentioned. So thank you for that submission. This is a book by Mark Clapham. It was published in 2000 by BBC Books. It is called Doctor Who, The Taking of Planet 5. It is sold by Gold Books of Denver, Colorado. So if I look at Gold Books here, let's see what comes up. They've been a seller since 2019, and they've got a variety of books here. It looks like they have a 5-star review. Excellent. Okay, they're asking for basically the shipping price within the United States. This is a U.S. seller, is $4.25, but the condition for new is being sold for $1,435.59. Again, I never understand the odd. Why not just $1,435 even? I don't know. Not sure they have the book, actually. That's one of those things. I'm not sure this place has the book. They're just hoping you'll pay the money, and then they're going to go pay the better price, which, by the way, you can get this book on Abe Books for $13.55. There's some for $15, couple for $20. I double checked. I don't know if I have this one in my collection. It's not exactly, I probably have it somewhere. But there we go. That's the book. So crazy. You can find the link and screenshots to those on our website. We do take those screenshots because sometimes that listing disappears, and I hope it does. So there you go. Well, if you find a Doctor Who item out there, if you're scrolling around eBay or Abe Books or Forbidden Planet or somewhere like that, and you find an item that is crazy, or you think it's crazy, send it to us at DoctorWhoCollectorsPodcast@gmail.com with most outrageous offer in the subject line or moo. And we'll check it out. Sometimes the price is high because it's the only one out there. If we can find others, if I can buy it for less, then, I'm going to go ahead and do that. That's the whole point. I might even already have it. I have to double check. I check my lists now before I go out and do that. But anyway, that's today's most outrageous offer. So thank you for that. And that wraps up the Doctor Who Collectors Podcast. I want to thank my guest today, Kal Power, with that amazing story and talking about getting a Tardis for free and saying no to the console room, which is now housed at Who North America. So you can visit it there. Anyway, we're getting ready now for our 100th episode. So come on back for that. We have some fun things planned, hopefully. We're going to try to, maybe some celebrities congratulating us again like we did with 50th. We'll see. Not sure yet. But anyway, that's coming up soon. Anyway, until then, keep collecting.
A Doctor Who Podcast Network.